regardless of how stressful it is. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah. I for some reason not too stressed about it.
Good. You shouldn't, man.
Yeah. All right. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Well, hello everybody. What's up? Welcome to People Are Terrible. I'm Jeremy, the king of technical difficulties. And joining me here on the podcast is Ian Elliott-Carter, who we were having a really good conversation with before we had technical difficulties.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to be back on People Are Terrible. It's been a minute, man. I'm glad to be here. Sorry under these circumstances, but
do you think that was too much of a bummer for an intro that we should here? Let's start this again in 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to People Are Terrible. I'm Jeremy, and I have a special guest joining me on this week's show, Ian Elliott-Carter.
Hey, thanks for having me back on the show, brother. I'm glad to be here.
Good. I'm glad to have you. And actually, just for the sake of transparency, we were like 25 to maybe 45% of the way into a really, really awesome episode of the podcast. And then I realized I wasn't recording half of it. So we are going to skip over. The only reason I say that is because we're going to go ahead and skip over the Worldwide Weird segment. And the only reason is because we don't want to just like have to fake a part of a conversation. So we're just going to jump in with the What the Florida. And then each of us has brought topics that we're going to discuss on this week's episode. For me, I want to talk about Sticks and Stones, the new Dave Chappelle stand-up. I've got some thoughts about that and kind of all of the shitstorm surrounding it. And then, Ian, you've brought a topic as well?
Oh, yeah, man. Marvel Phase 4, man. We recently got those announcements a couple weeks ago. But there's some people that are worried. They don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to be a success? Is it going to, we don't know, but I wanna talk about what my predictions are.
Yeah, no doubt. I said we got to talk about it. Like I'm really curious about things post Thanos. That's the big question to me. But yeah, we'll get there here in just a little bit. As I mentioned, we're gonna start things off by hitting Interstate 10 and heading on down to Florida for our What the Florida segment of the podcast. Yeah, buddy. And for those of you guys who maybe are joining us for the first time, Ian and I are both Florida natives. Essentially, I wasn't born here, but I pretty much lived here all my life. Both of us are currently in Florida. So if you are a fellow Floridian, you can't possibly be offended because so are we.
Facts.
Yeah. No doubt. Okay, so Florida man parks smart car in kitchen so it won't blow away. And just right off the bat, it's not just a smart car, it's fucking smart owner too. So, Ian, what do you think, man?
When I saw this picture, I busted out laughing because obviously I believed it because it came from Florida. But like those smart cars are just so, I don't know, whack.
Not a fan, huh?
I'm not a fan of the smart cars, man. I'd rather just grab a golf cart and drive in the highway than drive that. I don't understand, but whatever. It's saving your gas if you think it's great for the economy, whatever. But yeah, when I saw that smart car in the guy's house, which I'm sure you have a clip of it, it just looked like part of the house. It looked like furniture.
So, I mean, we had a Hurricane Dorian. A lot of people were very worried that it was going to actually come and make landfall and fuck shit up. I mean, hurricanes have a tendency to do that. Yeah, right. So this was in Jacksonville, and I guess the husband decided to fit it into the kitchen until the wind dies down. And I don't know. I don't know if this was more of like a photo op or if he legitimately thought that he needed to park it inside to get it out of the storm.
I think it was more for a joke. It was a photo op because he was like, "Hey, I think my car could fit in there." But you know what's crazy? I think Dorian would probably reject screwing with it. He'd be like, "I'm too good for this.
I'm better than a smart car."
Yeah, I'm better than. I'm gonna tear up this Cadillac over here. I'm not even gonna waste my time with the smart car because who would?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm like of the mindset is like, if what makes it smart is that it's small, I don't know how like smart that actually is. Like if it's the fact that it's an electric car, like you can do that and it not be like a little clown car. The only thing that would make these things dope, though, and maybe this is just because I just saw it the other day or because the Joker movie's coming out, but if clowns just mobbed around in this thing, that would be cool as fuck. Like every time it stopped, like 12 like mean looking fucking clowns got out of it, I would respect it a whole lot more.
They are missing a marketing opportunity by not having clowns jump out of this. Seriously, I would think that'd be like a viral commercial. It'd be like kind of the Popeye's chicken situation. Like as soon as you see like clowns jumping out of this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I want to do that. I'm gonna buy like 5 smart cars."
Yeah, I don't know. It's clever. Good job, Florida man. You managed to get a segment of a podcast out of your clever photo op. All right, Florida man breaks into house and makes breakfast. Tells homeowner go back to sleep.
Hilarious. When you sent me this story, that one, I think one of them made me laugh the most because that is a Florida man thing to do.
It is. A true match. I mean, I would be freaked out.
I'd be terrified, but I would just expect like a guy like naked in an apron looking at me like, "What? I'm making breakfast."
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the real question: was he making breakfast for everybody?
That's the subject of how long he should stay in jail. Like,
correct.
He was making it for himself selfishly. Give him life in prison.
Correct.
Now, if he was trying to feed the family, we could take all about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, if he was beating 8 eggs in there and like a whole package of bacon, a can of biscuits, and he was gonna like think about that. Think about how nice that would be.
That would be very nice. And if he left without taking anything or like molesting anybody, I would go to his court date and be like, yes, he broke in my house like a douche, but
he made everybody breakfast. So you're saying that he doesn't even stay for breakfast. Just he goes in there, makes breakfast, and slides out the back door.
That's the best case scenario. I would say judge drop all charges.
No, 100%, dude. That'd be a really nice criminal. In my mind, he wakes you up for breakfast. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't just ring the doorbell as he runs away. He comes in and gently rouses you from your sleep. Hey, breakfast is ready. Oh,
dude, I just picture you putting out a classified after this. I'm looking for a Florida man to make me breakfast in the morning.
Very important that you break in, though. I don't want, yeah. I don't want to know that it's coming. I want it to be a surprise, legitimate surprise.
It's a good fetish.
That's fucking weird. Yeah, I don't know. You read further into these stories, and with most Florida man stories, it can be pretty sad. But what is not sad is that this took place in Tampa, Florida.
Wow. In my own backyard.
Uh-huh. And this Newsweek article goes on to say that conscientious burgers are a bit of a thing in Florida this week because on Monday, a woman in Pensacola returned home to discover a man holding a purple Swiffer mop and attempting to clean up her house.
All that junk you were talking about, Tampa, look at you.
Right.
Now you're on the news.
Look at it. Yeah, so this article has decided for the sake of people are terrible this week to make our job that easy to have a story that starts in Tampa and ends up in fucking Pensacola as we cover both of our hometowns. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was destiny. That's hilarious, though.
33-year-old man, Smith. Let's see, Tyler Matthew Smith. You'd think I might know him. Same age range. He was found sweeping up glass that he broke to get into the home into a dustpan, and then he was cleaning the house up with a Swiffer, floor cleaner thing.
Again, it's a nice thing to do.
It is. It's scary. Yeah, initially you come in, there's just some rando. No, dude, I don't know, because the same thing is because we're in Florida, these Good Samaritans, as far as I'm concerned, these fucking saints, they could have been shot dead just for being there.
If they were black, it would have been it wouldn't have been a Florida man story.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why we're praising him so much, man. Because if a white guy breaks in your house and makes you breakfast and stuff like that, it's he's a great criminal. You know, if a black guy comes, I'm worried for my life. Shoot him 9 times. Two, 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 two. You know.
Yeah, like how do I mean? Yeah,
I'm sorry to make this racial. I didn't mean. It's what I do.
it's fair. It's fair. I am curious how the hell like the period of time between the person discovering that this is happening and the police arriving there, is that a awkward like conversation like, all right, we're gonna get you the help you need, buddy, or do they
They
take
can go
off?
either that way or they pin him down and like just shove something in his butt and be like, "Don't you move! Don't you move!"
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, what the fuck? Or does the person take off when you call the cops? I don't know. That just seems like it would be a very awkward 15 minutes or whatever.
I would have been jumping out of there. There's no way I'd be staying around. You
What
know,
the
I'm already
fuck?
getting a breaking and entering charge. You might what's fleeing? You know, what's gonna but nah,
Well, like we were talking about with the alcohol story that you guys will never be privy to. It's like maybe he was just wasted enough to think he was making breakfast at his own house or some shit.
that's a big possibility. You know what's crazy? When I was little, when we lived in North Carolina, I lived on a base and they have identical houses. Like everything's back to back.
Oh, right, right.
Yeah, so that's like kind of what base housing looked like. Man, I was like 3 or 4 years old playing at a park. Literally forgot which house was mine, and I walked into the wrong one. This old man with like his shirt off was smoking. He was like, "You're in the wrong house, boy."
Whoa, you're like, yeah, I am. Holy shit. You're in the wrong house,
I ran out
boy.
that house crying. So, so my mom heard me.
How are you doing today about it?
Say what?
How are you doing today about it, though?
About what? Going into the wrong house?
Yeah. I mean, you're good.
It doesn't happen too often. Maybe once or twice in a decade, but nah.
That's good. That's good. So, let's see. There was a Florida man. This is from Huffington Post because all the good weird news stories usually are. And there was a Florida man who didn't flush toilet, threatened griping friend with machete, says police. So,
Wow. So the guy that didn't flush the toilet threatened him, or the guy that, hey man, you didn't flush my toilet, flush it, or which one had the machete?
So here's the scenario. Ian comes over to my house. Just think about it, guys. I want you to picture this. Ian comes over to my home and goes and shits in my bathroom, and I'm like, dude, I didn't notice you flushing. It's kind of starting to smell a little gamey out here. And Ian says, Jeremy, I'm going to fucking cut you with this machete. And I'm like, dude, you're a guest. I'm not trying to be rude. I just asked you to, flush the toilet after you take a shit at my house. And then Ian looks me dead in the face, and the smile, everything's gone. It's just
so you're saying
menace. And you said,
had the audacity.
Shit happened.
So hold on. So it was the guy that was told to flush the toilet pulled the machete out.
The dude, yeah. A
Wow.
Florida man apparently didn't appreciate being told to flush the toilet in another person's home after using it. He allegedly threatened the fellow who complained by threatening to chop him with a machete.
The audacity. This man had the nerve to not flush the toilet and then threaten him with a machete. First of all, you walked into another man's house with a machete. What kind of business transaction, or what were we all doing for the bathroom thing? That's what I want to know.
That's a really good point.
And where was the machete? Did he like hang it up on like the table, like the guns in the Old West, or did he have it like in his pocket, like on the side or in his crack? I don't know where it was.
Laying across his naked knees as he's taking a shit, like his pants around his ankles, but his machete's still on his lap.
That is hilarious.
Bro.
But no, the question still remains, like, what were they doing before he's like, hey, I need to go use the bathroom real quick? Like, he had a machete on him already.
Yeah. Like, either they're extras in the Raid movie, or, I don't know, they were out there clearing the jungle in the dude's front yard. I don't know. It was 30 miles north of Tampa, and in a place called Hudson. I'm not familiar with that, but...
Let's see. If a guy comes to my house with a machete and he doesn't flush the toilet, I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm like, all right, you have a good day, sir. I'll just flush it and clean it.
You just wait till they leave.
Yeah, because
That's the coward's way out, dude. I be as confrontational as possible.
you said that's the coward's way out. Well, what are you supposed to do with a man with a machete in your house? Like that's already an awkward, weird thing. And then he doesn't flush the toilet. That's where I draw the line.
You flip it on him. You say, dude, if you don't flush that toilet, I'm going to use your machete to fucking chop you with it.
Be to yourself.
Yeah,
that's what short men do.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy looks a bit like a fucking serial killer in the first place. I think I'm with you. I think you just quietly, like, you internalize it, hope he's not staying long, and then you fucking flush the toilet after he leaves.
Yeah, that does look like a guy that doesn't flush. If I was to do that stereotype.
Oh, yeah. You see, yeah, he looks also like the mugshot of, like, 13 prostitutes found strangled in Quarry. This is the guy that fucking did it.
That's basically Florida Man in a nutshell. Like every stereotype looks like this guy.
Oh man, yeah. All right, dude, did you see the new It yet?
I did. I went to a special premiere. Just want to stun on you about that. You know, a little early screening.
I asked about it. When did you go?
I went on a Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Yeah, I went on Wednesday, and it came out like Thursday night, I think. But I went on a day early.
Did you like it?
I did. I didn't like it as good as the first one. I thought it had some pacing issues, but I thought the adult casting was majority of them were perfect. But I think the movie, my downfall was the movie did drag a little bit and some unnecessary things. Like you just like why? What was the point of having that in the movie? But other than that, though, I think the acting was great, and I think it was a good sequel.
Yeah, I think I fell down on the side of it like a positive, but it was so long. Like it did not need to be that long. And like I'm good with long movies. Yeah, they could have. I didn't like it when they split them up to all find the totems because I felt like
a little longer.
Yeah. But anyways, all right. I guess we'll start it off with the. I'll let you introduce the Marvel Phase 4 topic. All right. Let me pull it up real quick so I got it in front of me. All right. Yeah, whenever you want to kick it off, Let's ahead.
So, Marvel is going to be jumping off Phase 4 next year in 2020. They've lost Spider-Man, they've lost Iron Man, they've lost Captain America. So, it's not a reboot, but it's like something that they got to start from the beginning to work their way up because they're going to be dealing with newer characters or just straight up new characters. And so some people are worried and some people just have faith in their track record. But a lot of the things that shows is a lot of new stuff that we've not seen yet. So, Jeremy, are you excited for Phase 4?
Well, what's interesting about Phase 4 is how much of it is going to be hinged on the Disney Plus streaming service.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's a new thing as well.
All the way up until Phase 3, which is what we've been to thus far, the canon experience has involved going out to the theaters so that you can know what's going on. Like Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., none of those are related to the MCU as a whole. However, with Phase 4, they are adding this Disney Plus element to it, which means that now you are expected to not only go to the movie theater, but to have this streaming service to get the complete experience. And I'm curious about that. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely an experiment. But like what I would say to that, though, is the whole Marvel MCU was an experiment. Whatever they've been doing has never happened before, ever. I mean, people are trying to duplicate it between when it happened in 2008 and now, but like that was an experiment. You know, having a huge cinematic universe like that never happened before, and it worked. So people are worried because what you just said, like the whole Disney Plus series, that these TV shows tying into the movies, we've never done anything like that before. You can kind of say that maybe with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but like what you said with the Netflix series, they have no relation. And DC doesn't do anything like that as well. They've not had their television shows do not tie in with the movie universe as well. So I'm always down for an experiment. Like I've never wanted to be that guy that's like, hey, this is something new. It won't work. It's never worked before. No, let's see. Let's see. Because the MCU worked, and we'll see. Did
Yeah,
you
I
want
hear
me
you.
to? Do you want? I'm gonna name what Phase 4 is real quick, and then we
Okay.
can and talk about if we're worried or not about that situation. So
Okay.
it's gonna kick off, I believe, with Black Widow, and then which that's gonna be a full length movie, and then on Disney Plus we have The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then movie wise we have Eternals and Shang-Chi, which I have no idea about neither one of those. Um, we got WandaVision coming in 2021, which is going to be I think a sitcom, um, but I have no idea what it's going to be about. Vision's going to be coming back from the dead. We'll see. And then apparently this is going to tie into this movie. This Disney Plus series is going to tie into the movie of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse. I think that's what it says.
Multiverse of Madness. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I think Wanda's going to be in that show as
Uh-huh.
well. And then so going back to Disney Plus, we got Loki, the series, and then we have the What If series, which I'm looking forward to. It's going to be like what if we're going to put different scenarios in some of the Marvel characters. And then going back to Disney Plus, we have Hawkeye coming in after that, and then we got Thor: Love of Thunder, which we can talk about how controversial that's going to be. That's going to be a full length movie. And then the last announcement we have is Blade, which is going to be a newer version in the MCU without Wesley Snipes.
And then Miss Marvel to be announced, Moon Knight to be announced, and
Yeah,
She-Hulk to be announced. So I don't know if they're actually officially going to be part of Phase 4 yet, but
but
you
they're
know,
confirmed. Yeah, but
yeah,
they're not.
right.
They're going to be Disney Plus or movies or in Phase 4, like you said. So
Well,
yeah,
first of all, Black Widow, like I actually am looking forward to this
me too.
movie. I like Florence Pugh. I know this is like a long time coming, and we've Black Widow's been a big part of the Marvel universe for a really long time. But I think that because of people's love of Winter Soldier, this has kind of given Marvel a clearer idea about the way that they want to approach the action and the storytelling in this movie. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's closest in tone and in ideas to Winter Soldier, which I think is dope.
I mean, I think you have to go the Winter Soldier route because that's kind of like a spy flick, and she is like she's a spy. You wouldn't do like a sci-fi thing with her. You would definitely keep her grounded, using guns and stuff like that. I'm with you though. I'm looking forward to it. I feel like Black Widow and Scarlett Johansson deserved this movie a long time ago. Like we've all fell in love with that character, and she's deserves better than being just a side character.
Yeah, it's interesting that it did take as long as it did, but then also because of what happened and her death in game, this is a
Hmm.
cool way to kind of keep the character relevant, keep her moving forward in the series without actually having to like be active in the current timeline. So yeah, I think that's cool. The Eternals, holy shit, what an awesome cast! But I don't know
Yeah, great
anything
casting.
about it.
Yeah, great casting. You got Angelina Jolie. You got the guy from Atlanta, and that's all I can remember off the top of my head. Oh,
Keanu Reeves, right?
no, not Keanu Reeves. He's not. Keanu Reeves has been in talks to do something. He's not officially in Eternals though.
Okay,
But
this is Angelina Jolie, Richard Madden, who's Stark, Rob Stark, Kamal
who's the guy that plays
Nanjiani.
Super?
Yeah, Kamal
Yeah,
Nanjiani,
yeah, yeah.
Brian Tyree Henry, Salma Hayek,
Tom Hayek. Yep.
Kit Harrington. Holy shit! So yeah, that'll be a pretty impressive cast. I'd imagine they're probably going to use feuding houses type thing or like intrigued among a royal family or something like that. I feel like they're going to go a little bit in the Game of Thrones direction and that the casting is a way to reflect that.
Possibly, yeah. I'm excited to see it. Underneath that, we have Shang-Chi, which is just like the Eternals. I know nothing about,
Yeah.
but I do like martial arts movies, and I think that's what they're hinting at. That, and I like the fact that we're giving more Asian actors a chance.
Yeah, I'm for that as well. I do not have any knowledge of this character even peripherally, and that to me is like it's almost like, are they scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point? I didn't know about Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'd heard the
100%.
name Guardians of the Galaxy before. I never even knew Shang-Chi was a thing. So yeah, I'm a little bit like, okay, awesome about the representation thing. I don't know anything about the character.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you made a great point about Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
Yeah.
which movie would you rather see? Would you rather see a another DCEU movie with Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck, or would you rather see a Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
Yeah, no, for sure. Good point. And
Yeah,
now
we
in
never would have said
retrospect,
that as kids. Never would have said that as kids.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Doctor Strange is one that I'm super excited about. I think that this is one that the first one was just so weird, but I thought it was refreshing because of the whole element of him bartering with Dormammu at the end of the movie. It is very spectacle driven. It's definitely one of the more far out characters, but I like the fact that they're folding Wanda into it. And I heard Scott Derrickson say this is going to be Marvel's first horror film, which I guess we'll have to wait and see how much that actually plays out. But it's a nod to some H.P. Lovecraft, Mouth of Madness, in Mountains of Madness. And I don't know. I just think that if they go the route that I think they're going to, which has Wanda being the antagonist of the story, I think this shit could be really interesting.
Yeah, I did hear they're gonna take some from the House of M, but I'm really interested in the science part about it when it comes to multiverses. Like, is this gonna be how they introduce the Fantastic Four and X-Men? I don't know. Well, we'll see. Hopefully they won't tease us with some BS like they did with the Spider-Man movie.
Oh man, that Spider-Man situation is a fucking disaster. But that does tie the Doctor Strange and the multiverse ties into the WandaVision. Which what do you think about that?
That's the most confusing one out of all of them. They said it's going to be a sitcom, and they're still even trying to debate if they wanted to put the laugh stuff in the background. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I do like both of those characters, but I have no idea how that's going to go.
It's interesting to me where a lot of these, I can kind of tell you what the tone's going to be. Falcon and Winter Soldier, probably going to be tonally pretty similar to Black Widow. Loki, probably be pretty similar in tone to Thor, Love and Thunder. Hawkeye, probably pretty similar in tone to, again, like the more... Yeah. So with this one, it's definitely a wild card, and that makes it more interesting to me than a lot of the projects on this list. That said, it could easily be the worst project on this list because of the fact that they're swinging for the fences.
Possibly, man. But you know what I do respect about them? They're trying something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just don't understand how anybody could shut anything down that hasn't even started yet. So.
Yeah, I think by that same token of it could potentially be the worst on the list, it might actually be the most interesting on the list.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I wouldn't bet that would be my best on the list, but if it does, I'd be absolutely happy. I would love to be. I've been proven wrong many a times with my predictions.
Yeah, same. So Thor: Love and Thunder, man. Taika Waititi's returning, right?
Yeah, and so that's a plus. I mean, a lot of people. This is a controversial one because of the whole Jane's going to be Thor thing, but I think Taika Waititi coming back to direct is a plus. Like, he made the best Thor movie. Why not? We're in good hands, in my opinion, when it comes to directing. So. Yeah,
I don't care about this. I'm excited about the movie, and I love Taika Waititi. I don't care about the controversy side of it. Like, this whole Thor's a guy, Thor's a girl. Like, they're not taking anything from Thor. Like, I think it's gonna be very well established that Chris Hemsworth, the actor that played Thor, everything that's happened with him up to this point is still going to be exactly the same. It's not like they're just saying all of a sudden there's a new Thor. Like, it's going to be integrated into the story, and it's going to be fucking dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not going to just hand her the hammer and be like, all right, the part of Thor is now played by Natalie Portman. He's going to fly away. Nah.
Yeah, right.
Both these characters are established. We know Thor's story. We know a little bit about Jane Foster. So it's not like I don't know how it's going to happen. I think Andy Signor's argument about why he's not feeling this is because he feels that women characters should develop on their own without using another established character's name. If he feels like maybe Natalie Portman should be a more unique or what's it called, individual character instead of taking Thor's name to
Yeah.
be Thor because that's his actual name. I understand that argument. But these movies are based off of comics. It's not like this is just something that they brought up randomly for social justice. This is
Right.
really
Right.
in the comics.
And even if it was in the original comics brought up for that reason, it's like at this point the precedent's been established. There is a female Thor. It's a real thing. So and Thor was never real in the first place. So to say that there's any reality to a fictional character seems a little bit confusing, but that's fine. I definitely do understand the idea of wanting to build up lesser represented characters on their own as opposed to using the lore of the well-established comic book imprints to market the characters. But I also understand why it's easier to make Captain America black than it is to make a new character that's as iconic as Captain America to make people buy the comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. Captain America but that is a name given to him. As in Thor, I think that is his birth
Yeah,
name, but
no,
it's
I
also
get it. I get it. That's a good point. That's fair. I guess.
yeah. But no, I don't care either way too because I'm a fan of the Thor series and I love Taika Waititi. I think Chris Hemsworth is great. Natalie
Yeah,
Portman,
for sure.
I have a big crush on you. So I'm not worried about any of it.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that one quite a bit. Ragnarok ended up being one of my favorite
Dude,
MCU movies.
it's really, really good. I'm hoping, I don't know how it would happen, but a great final Loki appearance would be great, but I don't see it. I'm not going to bet on it. We can keep him dead. That's fine.
But we do have the Loki series coming out, and I like Tom Hiddleston as that character.
Perfect.
It really was good casting. I didn't even know who Tom Hiddleston was before. Well, to be fair, I didn't know who a lot of these people were before the MCU movies, but I don't know that I'm like super. To me, this isn't one that I'm like, oh my god, I've been really needing a Loki standalone TV series all my life or anything like that.
I mean, I love the character as well too, and I think him and Thor do a great job going back and forth. But I'm not 100% sold he can do it on his own. But like we've been saying, I'm willing to change my mind and I'm going to give it a shot. But him carrying a movie with just being Loki and like, hey, I'm a trickster. Look at me. I don't know. You got to have a yin and yang when it comes to stuff like this. So I don't know what the yang would be with Loki if he's like not going to be in the world of Thor. So
give me Jamie Alexander as Lady Sif in this and make it like they're the odd couple, like she's kind of the stand-in for Thor. I would be all for that.
That would work. That would work because, like I said, that's a yin and a yang right there. That's like if she's hunting him down, like Loki, I'm down to your tricks. I'm gonna get you. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know that she's even attached to it, but I would be into that.
I would too. Another one I have a crush on. She's cute.
Yeah, for sure. Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think that's going to be a good show.
That's going to be a good one. I think that's going to be like a 3-part series.
Okay.
So, and I thought Zemo is a very underrated villain. Like he won before Thanos did. His plan came to life and he did it.
Yeah, man, that's actually a good point. And I think that the fact that it's a 3-part series has me even more intrigued by it, and I really like the interplay, the relationship that Falcon and Winter Soldier have had throughout the series.
They have pretty good chemistry.
For
I
sure.
love when they were in that car and he was like, "Yo, can you move the seat back?" He's like, "Nah." And then he's like, "I hate you." You could tell like they're both of them have the common denominator of being friends with Steve Rogers, but like their relationship forming it seems kind of natural as well. Like, we have this common denominator, but you're not as bad as I think you are, and one's coming out of time, the other one's going to probably teach him things of this time. It's got a lot of potential, and I think it's going to be one of my favorites out of this list.
What if?
This one is my number one, man, because
Really?
in my head, I do a lot of fan fiction, bruh. Like, I don't write them down. I just do it in my head. Like, what if that would happen? What if that would happen? I like seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, I think this is another one that's got a lot of potential to be super interesting. And I love animation, but the fact that it is animated,
It's different.
I don't know how to say it other than it makes it feel less vital to me. Like if it depends on the art style a lot.
Well, yeah,
And sometimes cartoons and animated series are drawn to appeal to a younger audience. So I'm
for
kind of
sure.
holding out for that.
I'm holding up for it. I mean, that's going to be different. We've seen animated Marvel television, but we've never seen like in the style of these actors. So I'm
Yeah.
interested how they're going to do that. But this is going to be like the only one that's like not technically, or Loki as well. Loki and What If are like the ones that are not technically canon.
Oh, I see what you mean because Loki's is in the alternate timeline.
It's an alternate timeline, and this one is just a what if scenario, and of cartoons as well, because cartoons are not real.
Yeah.
So those two are going to be the ones that are not actually in the timeline. They're going to be just possibly for entertainment.
Yeah, I think that what if comics were always super freaking cool? So there's so many possibilities and like interesting angles they could take with it. I feel like one of them was what if Iron Man were born in Russia or some shit? I don't remember what I heard, but whatever the concept that I heard pitched was like, oh yeah, that would be super interesting.
Was that like for the show or or for a comic?
It was for the show.
Oh, okay, because I saw one that said, "What if Black Panther was Star Lord, or what if T'Challa was Star Lord?" And I was like, "That is very random.
That is
That's
very random.
not a what if I would have thought of, but I'm intrigued."
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's definitely not one that I would have thought about. But the Hawkeye TV series,
It's
same kind
probably
of
my
deal
least
as yeah. I was gonna say same deal as Loki. Only Loki, I'm a little more into the idea of just because you can get so weird with Loki, and I feel
Yeah,
like Falcon and Winter Soldier is gonna kind of be the TV version of Winter Soldier that I want to see.
I get you. I get you. But yeah, Hawkeye is probably my least expected. Like you said with Loki, you can, since it's not in the main timeline, you can literally do whatever you want. It's not going to affect anything.
Yeah.
But Hawkeye, I love Jeremy Renner. I love the character of Hawkeye. But if I was, and which I love a lot of these characters, all of them pretty much. But if I was to make a list of characters I care about the most to least, Hawkeye would probably be on my last list.
Yeah.
And he's got a cute family, but I really don't care what's going on in their lives, especially
Right.
the kid that puts mayonnaise on a hot dog. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah, I feel you, man. What is a Miss Marvel?
So I know Miss Marvel is gonna be like the first Middle Eastern superhero, which is awesome. I don't know much about her, which I'm still kind of learning about Captain Marvel in general. So I don't know. I'm interested. I know it's gonna be like a teen series or like a high school. I don't know if she's in high school or she's in middle school, but to see it from a kid's perspective is awesome because we're losing Spider-Man, and that was our only kid in the MCU pretty much with a solo film.
Son of a bitch.
I know. I get mad every time I hear about it or look at
No
it.
doubt, dude.
Like seriously, you guys are idiots.
I think Miss Marvel is just confusing.
It is. I don't know much about her to give any opinion about if I like her character or not. I don't know, but I just like the fact that we're getting a kid again. Other than
Yeah,
that,
no, you bring up good points. It's just weird that everything's Marvel in the title of it.
yeah,
It's like confusing for me, which I mean, to be fair, like I'm not super up to what's going. Like maybe Miss Marvel's a popular character to young people. I wouldn't have a
I don't
fucking
know.
clue.
I know she's fairly new, but I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah, like last 10 years new, I think. So
Moon Knight. A lot of people have been talking about Moon Knight for a long time. Mainly that I always think back to is John Schnepp was like always real into the idea of Moon Knight. So I think that it could be cool, I guess.
yeah, it'd definitely be cool. It's about time we got like a good dark one. I think Moon Knight and Blade are gonna be our good dark movies.
I think
So.
I think Blade is going to be good with Mahershala Ali in it.
Dude, I've not seen anything with Mahershala Ali that wasn't good.
No.
Like, even if it was a bad movie, I think he always gives a great performance.
Yeah, I think if there was one person that I was going to be like, all right, I guess, then it was Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Because just taking it away from Wesley Snipes, just it felt wrong. But when they were like Mahershala Ali, I was like, okay,
That could
I can
work.
deal with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I agree.
She-Hulk. What the fuck is a She-Hulk? I mean, I
I
know
don't-
what she looks like, I think this is the craziest idea for a story yet, because it
This
reminds
one,
me of that scene in Batman, The Dark Knight, when Batman's in the interrogation room or like the courtroom and he's got all of his bat gear on. It's fucking bizarre to see these characters in real life situations and everybody, like all the extras, just like acting like it's fucking normal. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying, man. Yeah, I know. Like the backstory is, she got very, very sick one day, and then the Hulk used some of his blood to transfer to save her life, and that's how she got the powers of the Hulk.
Yeah.
And I know she's like
Blood.
something like that. Um, I don't know. I think they're gonna, if they do it like because Marvel has like every genre. If they do it like the courtroom series type thing, like a Law and Order,
Yeah.
it'd be interesting. I mean, everybody would obviously have to talk about this elephant in the room, and be like, this 10-foot green chick in this room is interrogating me. But I mean, I'm interested. I would have preferred more of another Hulk solo movie or another project with the Hulk, because I feel like his arc is not finished. Because I feel like if that's what it's going to end like in Endgame, I would not be happy with his arc. And at least Thor, like, we still got potential to do something great with that last one, but like, I would more want to see Hulk moving on than introducing another Hulk character.
Yeah.
Maybe this will give great lead to something potentially for the Hulk in the future. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just not over what they did with Hulk in the game, I guess, to care much about She-Hulk.
Dude, do you remember that SNL sketch with Phil Hartman, the caveman lawyer?
Vaguely.
Oh, it's super super funny. He's a caveman and he's a lawyer, and that's like the just the conceit of that. The idea of like people having to take a caveman seriously as a lawyer. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Everything really does depend on tone. It depends on talent they get attached to it. There's a lot of things that it could definitely sway me one way or the other, but I feel like this is the phase where we get to see how strong the brand of Marvel, and I guess the same could be said about every single phase so far, but this is where we start to say, is the brand of Marvel so strong that people really don't care about it focusing on the A or the B or the C-list characters, and all of a sudden now we can just attach talent to it and hope that the Marvel brand carries it into...
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's it. Just carries it into the mainstream.
I definitely feel like one, like, not even just Marvel but DC, you have so much potential, and like they've already put out the A-list. You know, you can definitely go down that list and use your creative skills to do what you can do, because you have so much things to work with, that and DC as well. Like, you have unlimited stuff you can do. And when that's great to an extent too, because like, I'm always dying to see original content.
Yeah.
And, you know, as much as this is based off of something that's not original, but this is new to us, and I'm great. And I feel like Marvel is kind of like that sketch I saw from Robot Chicken, where they're making fun of what's his name, Michael Bay, and they were like, what makes you think you could just add all this random explosion and stupid sports storyline that makes no sense, and then Michael Bay just pulls his penis out and just slaps everybody with it. He's like, that's why. I feel like that's Marvel right now.
Yeah.
Like, what makes you think you just add a She-Hulk out of nowhere, and Kevin Feige just pulls his penis and slaps everybody? That's why.
I think that's where we're at right now, and I think that we'll see. We'll see how far that good grace, because dude, they've been doing it for 10 years exceptionally well. They haven't really had any major missteps. I mean, you could say some of the movies are less good than others, but I wouldn't think that any of them are like below that certain quality. But
they're all rewatchable in my opinion. Like, there's 3 of them I don't like. There's levels to the ones I like more than the other ones, but like, at the end of the day, I feel like they're all rewatchable. They're not like unwatchable.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Great.
Even like just to name check one, Thor: The Dark World. I don't think it's a bad movie. Like, I still enjoy watching it.
I would definitely watch that again for like just Tom Hiddleston's performance.
Yeah,
I think he'd be great.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. Looking at it all overall compared to previous phases, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to beat what Phase 3 did.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like we're having to do a reboot. And I do.
It is a reboot. Even if it's the same characters, some of them, but you're definitely starting from square one. You don't have a main villain, and you're introducing people you've never even heard of. It is a reboot.
So, all right. Well, yeah, I think that was a pretty good conversation about it, you guys.
One last thing before you
yeah, no, go ahead.
we didn't mention. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
One more thing before we move on, I just want to mention that there was an announcement for Black Panther 2 as well.
Oh, yeah.
They're working on that, and I'm really hoping that they'll introduce Namor, which is like the Marvel version of Aquaman. I know that the Wakanda and Atlantis in the comics had beef. That would be a great story. Ryan Coogler's coming back. I trust it.
Why isn't it in Phase 4? I guess they're just holding out till Phase 5.
They're holding out for Phase 5 on that one,
Okay.
but it was announced kind of like the other ones, but we don't know when it's coming. I think after Phase 4, they're gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but it's
interesting. Well,
and they'd be stupid not to bring back Black Panther. He made so much money. A great character.
That's why I was surprised that they didn't just go ahead and include him in this. But yeah, I do remember now at the very end of the panel, he's like, oh yeah, and by the way, these movies are definitely happening. They just might not went into production until, a certain time, and that just pushed it back a little bit. But
scheduling and all that. Yeah.
Had to bring the same team back, man. That movie was just so successful and really, really, really good up until the rhinos showed up at the very, very end.
That was funny. Just pump out the way.
Anyways, all right. Well, on my topic for this week, I feel like I know it's not super new at this point, but I hadn't had a chance to talk to you about it. What did you think about Dave Chappelle's new stand-up special, Sticks and Stones?
I'll give you one pro and one con. I'm gonna give you a lot of pros actually later when we talk about this. But my one pro and one con is pro. Hilarious, what we needed right now in this time. Con, it's not his best one. I know that it's a talked about one because it's talked about a lot right now because of the controversy surrounding it. But I still think for what it's worth is his best one. No, Kill 'Em Softly is his best one still, but it's still it's still A+ material.
Why is this one being singled out and been so controversial when the last ones are relatively new and kind of existed during the same outrage culture? Was there something in particular about this one?
I agree and disagree with what you said about like you talking about like his last Netflix ones, right?
Yeah.
So I'll agree that this is not new material. He has been making fun of basically around the same topics. I will say this though, those two did come out on a time that people are as sensitive as they are now, but I feel like within time is getting worse and worse and worse. And I feel like right now, surprisingly, people are starting to we're tired of this sensitivity. Let's push this button. And I feel like Dave Chappelle's leading that train a little bit. It starting a little bit even with Andy Signor's announcement. People are starting to challenge this whole cancel culture thing. And I think Dave Chappelle put a great stand up to make you want to challenge it even more. Like, look, this sticks and stones literally means their words. I'm going to say some funny things that you shouldn't take 100% serious.
Yeah, I'm a big Dave Chappelle fan. I'm also one of the people that will say like Dave Chappelle show has got the Chappelle show has one brilliant season. Season 2 is a little bit more patchy. And I think he walked when the lost tapes or lost episodes or whatever, because like the most important stuff that needed to be said was said. And a lot of the people that started to be really into Chappelle, I don't think were necessarily the people that he was hoping to connect with in some ways. Like, I'm sure it was mostly white frat guys that were fucking walking by. I'm like, I'm Rick James, bitch, all fucking aggressively. Dude. And he was probably just like, what the fuck happened,
Let me tell you something real quick. When I was spring break, that spring break when he did this Rick James sketch and the Lil Jon sketch, that's all you heard on the strip, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm Rick James. Oh, what? Yeah, okay. That you would hear that like for miles. Like everybody was saying that to each other.
Just saying it over. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And, it reminds me of the BC Boys had that song, You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party. Yep. And it was written for a specific purpose, but then, like, it got adopted by, like, the people that it was kind of making fun of in a lot of ways. Anyways, I say all that about Chappelle to say, like, I I don't think he's the genius on the level that a lot of people do. I think I know, blasphemy, right?
Yeah.
I heard somebody say that he's our generation's Richard Pryor, and I'm like, man, fuck, I'm old because like,
Richard Pryor is great, man. I might say something that people might disagree with. I think Dave Chappelle's funnier than Richard
do
Pryor.
you really?
I do. I mean, but at the same, it's no knock at Richard Pryor
Yeah,
because what's funny for a generation is going to be funny for a different generation. I think I still laugh at the stuff that Eddie Murphy said in the '80s, but I am an '80s baby.
yeah, yeah.
A lot of people, like these millennials or people within the last 10 years, might not laugh as much at an Eddie Murphy joke that I would. I feel like Dave Chappelle's lasted pretty long. His
Yeah,
funny
you're
stuff
right.
from the late '90s is still funny, and he's still doing great stuff in 2019. I think he's a genius, so I'll disagree with you on that.
I'm a big Chris Rock guy, and I think like
Chris Rock
Tambourine
makes
even was
sense.
really good as well. You know, I feel like
Very different.
yeah, very different. And
Yeah.
so not to take away from Chappelle, the point is that what Netflix has done with comedy, on one hand, it's really great because they've
Yep.
given specials to people that otherwise they would careers wouldn't be doing all that much right now. HBO used to be
Except
the
Monique.
mecca. Yeah, right. She definitely would have been doing all sorts of other stuff. But HBO was the place for stand up for many years.
Yep.
Netflix kind of came and revived the scene within the past couple of years. But the problem with what they do is they say, Ian, I want you to do stand up for me, and I'm going to give you $20 million, but you owe me 5 hours of stand up. And 5 hours is a lot of material.
It is.
So what
It is.
happens is you're gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna put all of my best shit on a 1 hour special, or I'm gonna take all of my best shit and I'm gonna put it in 20-minute segments on these other specials. And you do what anybody would do. You put your best jokes and you spread them out over the course of how many specials you have to do. And then you
Yeah.
put your B material and you spread it throughout. And then you take your C material and you do the same again. So none of the specials are as good as any of their 1 hour specials obviously would have been. So while I think that Sticks and Stones had some really good moments in it, I also felt like some of it was just like not a material.
Oh, for him, I honestly, I could tell he was holding back. He was definitely repeating jokes he did, like maybe that he does in touring. But no, that's why I said it wasn't my favorite
Yeah.
from him. But I do think it came at a great time. And what you said about stand up of the hour specials and stuff like that, I used to do 5 minutes opening up for like the headliners and stuff like that. That took me like all week to figure out. Like I would literally have to do something different all the time, and 5 minutes would take a lot from me.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, for sure.
So I can't even imagine 5 hours.
Yeah, it's so much freaking writing and coming up with like life experience and stuff. And that's like, I do agree. Like he did say a lot of shit that was just very taboo, very button pressing. And honestly, he hasn't done anything different than kind of what he built his brand on. It's just that society is so much different now.
It is, and what his jokes were expected. He's made Michael Jackson and R. Kelly jokes before. Check out his what's it called? For What It's Worth, I believe.
Yeah.
He's done this before. I think he made transgender jokes in the last 2 specials on
Yeah.
Netflix. Well, so I didn't understand like that outrage. It's like, come on, this is not new. But like I said, it came at a right time where we just needed to laugh, and we needed to stop like being the police of what people say. Like, come on.
The Macaulay Culkin joke at the beginning was so fucking funny. Like that one
Hilarious.
killed me. I like the alphabet people bit pretty good.
Jesse Smollett joke was probably his best one in my opinion.
Oh
But
yeah, dude, Jesse Smollett, Jesse Smollett,
Juicy Smollett. Yeah,
Juicy. Yeah, that was very good. It was in I think that's kind of the thing that that I've said about, and it happens with a lot of comics. It's like you either stick to what the formula that works is for you, or you try to dramatically reinvent yourself and risk isolating people. So in order for Chappelle to like be true to himself, he had to do this special that he did. If he would have tried to censor himself or like stay away from taboo subjects and words that are edgy, everybody would have been like, this is fake. This isn't even the Dave Chappelle that I know, the Dave Chappelle that I grew up on. This is like somebody trying to be politically correct. So I feel like what it did do is, and I think Aziz Ansari did a really good job of it as well. But what it did do is confront the way that society is approaching comedy now, and I think that's like they're just trying to take the shit back, you know?
Absolutely. And I'm really hoping and crossing my fingers. Like, since you mentioned Aziz Ansari and Dave Chappelle, both of these were great specials. I'm really praying for like a Louis C.K. comeback when it comes to making fun of cancel culture or censorship in general, because I think he will definitely lay that coffin on that.
Dude, that joke about Louis C.K. was really good. Also
That was
on
good
Chappelle's, dude. Like, yeah, there was a lot of really good stuff on it. I think I just like, it's possible that it's a lot of what I said and that it's just there's only so much material. Another thought of it is that just like there's so many specials now.
Yeah,
that
and
it's easier to be more critical.
Absolutely, and I think honestly, stand-up specials on Netflix and their original material is going to keep them afloat, because people are worried that a lot of people are taking away their content for their streaming services. But I think Netflix will be all right in the end if they keep doing stand-ups and original. Stuff. I wanted to say also, sometimes when it comes to jokes, especially with Dave Chappelle, there was stuff I disagreed with what he said, but I thought it was hilarious. Like, he made this joke, which it was obviously a joke. He said something like, it was a Michael Jackson joke. He said he's a victim blamer. And he said, hey, Michael Jackson just molested kids. And he's like, well, what were those kids wearing? Yeah. Hilarious joke. In real life, obviously, I would never victim blame a woman or anybody for what they wore. That's the dumbest thing anybody. That sounds like a dumb Florida man thing to say. You know, I guess. You know, but it's a joke. It's not supposed to be meant to take it seriously. Obviously, I don't agree with that, but I thought that delivery and that punchline, hilarious.
That's a really good point, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's something that I kind of talked about with Victoria afterwards. Is just like you're not going to see stand-ups, or you shouldn't be to have them reinforce your worldview. Like, their opinion is what you're paying them for. You can't get mad when they give you their fucking opinion. Like, you don't have to agree with it to think it's funny. You can put yourself in a different state of mind. Like you said, obviously he doesn't think that it's okay to molest a kid depending on what they wear. Or like the Macaulay Culkin joke that I referenced. I'm going to screw it up, but he's basically like, you know, Macaulay Culkin said that Michael Jackson never did anything appropriate. I'm not a child molester, but if I was, I would have sex with Macaulay Culkin, because do you know how hard that kid is to catch? Which is just a fucking joke on Home Alone. But that shit was so funny, you know?
Hilarious. Obviously, he's not like promoting, you know, child molestation, like it's wrong, but he's just like making the joke like this kid was in his presence, one of the biggest child actors of the 90s. It would be a no-brainer. Yeah, that kid's getting fucked. You know, I get it. It's a joke.
I wonder. You know, part of me is like, did you say BuzzFeed talked about getting him canceled?
It was Vice. Vice said, Vice said that you can go ahead and skip the special. And like, really? And it actually, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 0%.
I saw that.
It was like 10 reviewers that did that, and then when they opened it up to the public, it immediately shot up to a 99.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I did see the 0 and was just like, wow, that seems extremely like, it only was the mad people. It's like any restaurant. The only reviews you ever find are the ones where the people's fucking order got fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't
go to this place. It sucks. They didn't put mayonnaise on my burger. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
They only let the fucking rats fry for 2 minutes before they take them out. Oh man, what a good show it would have been, Ian.
I don't even remind me. I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score right now. Actually, it's got a rating of 23% from 13 viewers, and it's got 1 star.
Oh,
seriously, come on. And this is, you know, I was never against that Rotten Tomatoes hate when it came to like the DC and the Marvel beef that people were having. Like, people accuse Rotten Tomatoes of working for Disney and just being biased. No, some of the movies suck, guys. Just keep it real. But this doesn't help their argument when you got a special that's definitely not 1-star worthy. Come on. And it's 13 reviews and 23%. It obviously shows like a certain bias. I'm convinced. There's no way that a majority of people that watch this special think it was not worth watching. I refuse to believe that.
No, I mean, out of 13, I just don't think the people who thought it was worth watching felt like it was worthy of writing a review on. Or maybe they don't want to be the person that's defending the use of the word, the F word or whatever. But I don't know. That's weird to me. I didn't think it was like 23%. That's like on the level of some of the worst fucking theatrical releases. So, yeah, I don't know what that says, man. I just think that people who are offended are more likely to react than people who are just like, oh, that was pretty good. And if you're a movie reviewer, of course you write movie reviews. I don't know if I would classify stand-up specials as, like, would you review a stand-up special?
I would, because I'm a huge fan of stand-up, but I can understand, like, the disconnect and difference between reviewing a special and a movie. A movie is art. What stand-up is art, too, but I feel like the visuals that they put in a movie is more easy to break down than a political joke that you might not be like inclined. Some of these reviews might not even know who Juicy Smollett is. They might not follow. They might have not followed the R. Kelly situation, so that could,
Dave Chappelle advocates gun ownership at one point in his special too. I think liberals just got like super upset about it. Like, not liberals, that's bullshit. I'm liberal. Like, extreme liberals got super upset about it. I got butthurt because of the fact that he, I mean, he did he's a provocateur. Like, he's made us, but it's interesting that there's not more people that would just like contribute to the positive side of it. But I don't know. I don't know that Dave Chappelle was ever for critics. You know what I mean?
No, he's not. No, there's certain comedians like we said, Louis C.K. as well. Like, there's certain comedians that you can just be like, he's not for everybody.
Yeah.
No, you might not understand what he's going with or his point of view, but
Killing Him Softly is his best stand up.
That's a good one, man. He's talking about like walking down Sesame Street, hilarious joke. Mm-hmm. He had his joke about a baby selling crack on the corner in the hood.
Yeah, that was a good one. Okay, Here we go. Let's take a look at some of these real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. Melanie McFarland from Salon says, Sticks and Stones exists as a defiant design to intentionally offend large swaths of the audience Chappelle deems too thin-skinned and easily outraged, while serving up simple, low-bar yucks to anyone yearning for validation of their anti-PC stance.
Well, I'll agree that he did it on purpose. I honestly think most of the special was just like, hey, this is my used footage I've done in private, like, clubs, but screw it. I'm on Dave Chappelle level. I can offend anybody.
Yeah.
I do think he purposely did these jokes. Like, there wasn't any, like, because he usually does stories. Mm-hmm. There wasn't much stories in this one. This was a lot of opinionated stuff. And I do feel like he did do it on purpose. I'll agree with that. But does it make it bad? No, I'll disagree on that.
His impressions, man. That first impression, I was just like, oh, God. And then the second one, I was like, oh, shit. I see what he was doing there. That shit was good.
That's a little misdirect. I saw what he was doing.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. All right, well, that's going to wrap up our conversation for this week's episode of People Are Terrible, guys. Thank you so much for coming by. Caleb will be back as soon as he's able to, but in the meantime, Ian, I do appreciate you coming and checking it out this week.
Anytime, man. If you ever need me, holla, boy. But
we'll have to do it again soon. And you guys make sure that you are liking, subscribing, commenting, sharing, all of that kind of stuff to help us get the word out. It really does. It takes you to grow the show. So do us a favor and help get the word out.
Real talk.
All right, and until next time, and on behalf of both of us, be terrible.